Okay, so today we're looking at stem and leaves. So stem and leaves are a good way to compare when you have two sets of data which are from the same category. So say, for example, we were looking at, say, my two classes of further. So you've done a test and I would look at both of them. So it's a good way to compare, two sets with a stem and a leaf. Okay, so a stem and a leaf, what you have is you have this stem, and that's the first digit in the number, and then the leaf is what comes after. You have to be really careful because the key explains what it is, because you could have a stem and leaf. So it could be like this, where you have 1 and you say you have 5, 8, 9 and 9. And if the key may say that 1-5 equals 1.5, yeah? So the key will tell you how it's measuring it out, okay, or what the data actually is. So, or it could be, something like that. So you've got to be careful. Now, they've got to be in order from the lowest to the highest, yeah? So that you make sure your leaves are in order like that. And what you can see is so you'll have a set of data and you make this stem and leaf. And what you see here, if I just grab this, see if I turned that stem and leaf like that, can you see it sort of looks like what we were talking about with the histograms? Yeah? And so if I draw that like that, what shape do you think this one is? Yeah, so this one is symmetric. So we can then make all those same comments on it. So we can say the shape is symmetric with no outliers or no apparent outliers. And then what else do we comment on? We comment on the center, yeah? And we're going to use the median again. Okay. So if we were looking at, say, this stem and leaf here, remember, so we can find the median at n+1 divided by 2 spot or position, okay? So first of all, if we want to know how many data there is in a stem and leaf, you count up all the leaves. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's 15. So if I was finding the median for this data, it'd be 15 plus 1 divided by 2. So it's going to be the 8th. So when you go through, because the stem and leaf is in order from lowest to highest, you just count up until you get to the 8th. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this becomes my median. So my median would be 36. These were a whole different ages or something. So 36 was the median age. Okay, so if we had to then do the range, if you're commenting on the range, you just do it's the maximum minus the minimum. So what's the largest number there is 61, and the lowest number is 16. So I'm just reading off the stem and leaf. Did we all see that? That number and that number. Okay, so we've got this stem and leaf plot here. So they'll tell you it's an ordered stem and leaf plot, and it says the first thing it said, label the shape. So once again, you could, if you want, you flip it around that way, and you can see that this one we'd probably say symmetric, but it has an outlier out there. So they said, see here, the distribution is approximately symmetric with outlier. Now, in the blurb there, they told you there was 23 students. So I don't have to count up how many leaves there are. So when they went to find the median, they found the median by going the n+1 divided by 2. So it was 23 plus 1 divided by 2. So that was going to be the 12th spot. Okay, so if you go through the data and count out the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it was 30. And see here, they said the distribution was centered at 30. That's how they found that. Now, you can put the list of data into your calculator and go get the median and all that if you like. So what you would do into your calculator is you go into lists and spreadsheets, give yourself a name, and you'd start writing them all. So it'd be, see, the first one would be 15, then you'd have 19, 19, 19, blah, blah, blah. Can you see like that? You could do it. But can you see how with me, to type all that in and then go do all that, that's a lot longer than me manually doing it. So that's where the manual, knowing how to quickly do it, will be easier, especially for small set of data and stuff like that. You may look at your exam question and see how much they're asking you to do. If you're only asked to find the median of that's it, of that stem and leaf, just do it manually and get on with it. But if you've got a lot of other questions, maybe it is worth putting the list in, because you might be asked a lot of other things about it. All right. So here they've just given you, and there's a little example of a report. So once again, if you were asked a report on the data, you just say the shape, the center, and maybe the spread, and comment on the outlier. Now, what we have to be careful with is we can get these back-to-back stem and leaf plots. So this is what I was talking about before. See how when you have two sets of data of the same thing, whatever it was, the developers recorded noise level at two of these different things. So what you have to be careful with, like this is not the question, but if you were describing the shape of B, so this one on this side, so if you grabbed it and you turned it round, that would be, you can see it's like symmetric, sorry. I'm just going to delete that. So this one we can see is like symmetric. What you have to be careful of, and please take note, is this side when you're on the left-hand side of a back-to-back stem and leaf plot. Because you have to be careful with, if you take this one and I spin it round, what you have to be careful with, can you see that the lowest number is actually here? Yeah? So really it's the reverse of it. So be careful with that you would, this is the lowest, so this is actually where it starts. So if you would have 3, this is the stems down here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 was like that, and then it went like that, okay? So just be really careful. It actually is the opposite to what you visually see, okay? So be careful with that. Let's go and do the question here though. So the developers record noise level at 2 proposed residential sites, A and B. The results are listed and the back-to-back stem and leaf plot is done. So the median noise level at A is 52. So this is where we would need to go and we need to see how many numbers we've got. So first count up all the leaves in A. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if I've got 16, so n plus 1 divided by 2, it'll be, this is where we've got an even number. So it'll be it's the 8.5. So if you go through it, you go through this, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th, I'm going to write it here. The 8th number is 50 and the 9th number is this one here, which is 53. So what's in between those two? Because remember, it's in between those two. So what comes in between 50 and 53? It would be 51.5, won't it? Yeah? So 51.5 is the median for A. So we have which of the following is true? So that is not true. Now we've got to look for the median at B. Now be careful, does it have the same amount of leaves? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, it did. So it still had 16. So let's go count up the 8th. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the 8th, the 8th one for B was 52 and the 9th one for B was 54. So what's the median in there? Is it 53? It's in between, isn't it? So that's okay. So this is true, and I'm going to mark that and keep going. Okay, so the stem and leaf plot shows the ages of people in a Tai Chi class. The median age is, so here they're giving you the key. So these are definitely years. And you obviously, we need to count up how many we have. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20. So N is 20. So the median, where's that going to occur? It's going to occur at the, between the 10th and the 11th. Would you agree? Yeah, N plus 1. So we'll go through that. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So it happens in between here, which is 33 and 34. So what's halfway between 33 and 34? C. Okay, the company sells jeans at 20 different outlets. So this one was nice. It's told us we've got 20 leaves. And the results of the outlet are shown. What percentage of outlets sold more than 50 pairs of jeans in a particular day? So if you've got 50, it says more than 50. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got 5 days out of the 20. So remember, percentage is the amount over the total times 100. So out of all these outlets, that was the total. So there was 20 outlets. How many days? How many outlets sold more than 50? So I've got 5 times 100. So what's that? It's 25%, isn't it? Yeah, done. This one, the stem and leaf plot. So here, be careful of the keys. So see these leaves? They're just showing us the decimal point of the average age in years of women at first marriage. For these countries, there was 17 countries, so they gave us N up there. The lowest average age for women at first marriage. So you've got to read it off. Who can see what's the lowest age for first marriage for women? No? 25. So 25.0 years. Wherever you see your first leaf, that's the lowest. And the median age, so if we're going to find the median, we're going to do N plus 1 divided by 2. So it'd be 17 plus 1 divided by 2. So it's going to be at the 9th spot. So if we go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the median age for women, what is it? I found it. It's this guy here. So what's that actual age? 28.2. Okay, the back-to-back stem and leaf plot shows the number of new newspapers purchased by each month by a sample of men and women. So back-to-back stem and leaf plots are really good for those when you've got just two category things. So men and women is often a good one. You see a lot of that. All right, so the key is just showing us that it's a normal number. So what percentage of women in the sample purchased at least 24 newspapers each month? So they want in the whole sample. So what percentage of women in the sample purchased more than 24? I don't like this question because we could debate, are they talking about like both groups or just the women group? So let's have, what do you guys reckon? So we're just going with the total of women. So how many total of women was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There was 10. And then if we look at how many did more than at least 24 newspapers, so 1, 2, 3. So we've got... At least include? Yes, at least. So 3 out of 10 times 100 is the 33%. So about 30%. We'll go with that. Okay. We're moving on to dot plots. So we would have seen, remember when we did the histogram, and remember when you said you chose your list, and you know, in our graph page, remember we chose the list down here, and you saw the calculator produced, what it produced was a dot plot, yeah? So the calculator automatically, the first thing it does is produce a dot plot. So a dot plot just has a ruled number line. So if you are drawing a dot plot, you have to make sure, this is what they will look for, that the line is ruled. So that means you won't get a mark if you just draw this line. And you just have, say, your markers along your line. So you just start with your lowest. So generally, like say here, what's my lowest one was, is it 21? Yeah. So we might go up like that, and you just keep going. Sorry, mine's getting a bit messy, but that's what you would do. And you simply put a dot above, like, so because I've got only 121, a dot goes on there. I've got how many? I've got two 22s, so there's two 22s there. And then you got 23, there's two 23s, I think. Yeah. And so on, and then so you get this dot plot. So what you do, and here it is, if I typed the list in, you create the list in your calculator, and remember we go to the graphs page. This is the graphs page, that pink one with the histogram, and then we clicked it. You get this dot plot. So once again, it's like the stem and leaf and like the histogram, is that you can describe the shape. So with this guy, this data, it seems like it's right at the start, and then it tails off. So I'd probably call this positive skewed. This one's not very clear, not very dominating, so they wouldn't give you one like that. But we can comment on the shape. So if we have a look at this one here, so it says the dot plot below displays the different travel times between the morning peak and evening peak travel times for the same journey on 25 days. So the median difference in this travel time is, so once again, we can do the same. So 25 days was N, yeah? So the median would be found, medians, just remember this is just where you find it. So N plus 1 divided by 2, so it'd be 25 plus 1 divided by 2, so it's going to be the 13th. So you can count through your dots as well, again, but just make sure you're going from lowest to highest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we're on this one here, 13 is there. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, yeah? So 3 minutes difference. Okay, there you go. So there's the answer. All right, water skink eggs are hatching in the reptile house at the Milliville Animal Sanctuary. The number of eggs hatching each day over a 31-day period. So 31, they just gave you the N there, so be careful. The results are displayed with the dot plot. Write down the range. So remember, range is maximum minus minimum. So what is my maximum, boys? Looking at that is, yeah, good, 23 there. That's the biggest one. What's the smallest one? 15. So what's 23 minus 15 is 8. Okay, where are we going to find the median? So the median is at 31 plus 1 divided by 2. So that's going to be the 16th. So you go through 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So what number did I end up on there? The red dot is in 19. Good. Write down the number of days which exactly 21 eggs were hatched. 0. Good. See, because there's none there. Nothing in that one. And the percentage of days on which more than 19. So when they say more, you can't do 19. You'll do more. More than 19 acts. Now, be careful. This is saying percentage. So percentage is always the amount out of the total times 100. So the amount is going to be how many more than 19, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 out of the 31 times 100, and it says to one decimal place. So what's that? So 38.7%.